What's going on YouTube? Michael Wolverine here with another video. Today I wanted to go through some of the pickups I've had recently. I'd say the last month or so I picked these up. I didn't get a whole lot that I wanted to show off, but there was some interesting stuff that I wanted to make a video about and just kind of talk about and give my brief thoughts on them. So let's go through each one. So the first game that I picked up was for the Game Boy Advance. I only picked up one game this month, but it is Metroid Fusion. So this is a game I had when I was a kid or kind of growing up, and one that I really enjoyed, but obviously traded it in and kind of sold it, as you do when the new systems and stuff come out. So when I started getting into retro collecting again, this was one I've been meaning to pick up. And, this is a great game. The Metroid series is just a lot of fun, and this is a really good kind of original title for the Game Boy Advance. So definitely recommend this one. It's not too pricey, but it is a little more on the expensive side for the system, but it's a great game, so it makes sense. The other next one I wanted to go through was the only N64 game that I picked up this month, and that's Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1. I know the Tony Hawk series isn't the best on the N64. However, this one I picked up just because at the moment I don't have a PlayStation 1 or a Sega Dreamcast, so this is the only way I can get Tony Hawk Pro Skater. And, it's not a very expensive game for the console, and, Tony Hawk's obviously a great game series, was in the early days of it. So this is just a classic, iconic music, iconic levels in the game. Just a lot of fun. The N64 is probably not the best version of the game. Graphics, haven't aged the best. The music doesn't sound amazing. However, still a fun game and one I wanted to pick up, especially since it was pretty cheap. So since I got Metroid Fusion, it got me really, really wanting to get the Game Boy Advance Player for the GameCube. So this is just the disc. I have the accessory attached to my console at the moment, so I'm not going to show that off. But this is the disc that you need to play the Game Boy Player. Basically, what the Game Boy Player is it will play Game Boy Advance, I believe even Game Boy Color, and it'll play all the Game Boy games on your GameCube. And with the prices of GameCube games going up, a lot of the stuff on the GameCube is going up in price. The Game Boy Player is no different. And what is interesting about it is the actual attachment is fairly reasonably priced. You can find those for about $50, $60, but you need the disc to actually play it. And this one, it's in the original case. It doesn't have the manual. It doesn't have the sleeve, which if you have that really raises the price of it. However, for me, I would have liked to have the manual, but the manual is nothing really special. It's just kind of a generic picture of the player and a GameCube. So it's nothing really interesting. So I didn't really mind the fact that this one didn't have the manual. And the disc is in great shape, and it works, obviously. And it was on the lower end of the price tier. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't on the higher end if it would have had the manual and especially the sleeve. So for me, I felt like, okay, if it works, I got the disc. I wanted to pick it up so I could play games like Metroid Fusion on my TV and capture game footage for it. So this was definitely a must-own. This is definitely a must-own for GameCube collectors, but I will say it is going up in price. So just keep an eye on them. Sometimes you can find them for a little bit less than $200, but lately everyone I've seen online goes for upwards of $200 if it includes the disc. If it doesn't, of course, it's on the lower side. But you need this disc. There is a couple things you can do without the disc. I have seen that there's some modded memory cards where they put the software on the memory card so you can actually play your Game Boy Advance games on the TV, and those run about $20. I think usually you need a certain game, though, to get it to work. The ones I've seen, you need like Wind Waker or something like that. So if you already have that game and you want to pick up the Game Boy Player, but you don't want to spend the extra money to get the disc, you could try that. I haven't tried it. I don't know exactly how well it works, but it is an option. So the next game I want to talk about, I guess just to go through, I kind of went on a little Tony Hawk kick last month. So I also picked up Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 for the GameCube. This was the first one that came out on GameCube. I believe it also is on N64. And this is one I had, growing up. I think, one of my brothers got this for Christmas the year the GameCube came out. And so we played it all the time. And this is a fun game. I mean, what can I say about Tony Hawk? It's a great game series. It's just a lot of fun to go back to. Great music, just great gameplay experiences. So this one, has some new characters, updated graphics. The gameplay is pretty similar to Tony Hawk 1 and 2. And, again, it's just a great game. So one I have a lot of nostalgia for, one I wanted to pick up. And it runs fairly cheap on the system. With most GameCube games going up in price, this one I think I got for like $12, $13, so it wasn't too bad. The next one I want to bring up was another one. This is kind of just a nostalgia one for me. I don't really know if a lot of people like this game, but I picked it up because it was one that I was interested in. And that's WWE, I guess it was, WWE Crush Hour. And basically, this is kind of like a Twisted Metal with WWE characters. It's not exactly like Twisted Metal. I think the difference is your cars have a machine gun, and then you have to pick up the different weapons. Whereas I think in Twisted Metal, you have like a special, and you have the weapons kind of already there. You just have to pick up ammo for them. Might be wrong about that, but that's what I remember. But it's not as fun as Twisted Metal, obviously. But it is a pretty interesting game, and has pretty good presentation for what it is. The different superstars, this is like around the early 2000s. So, you got like Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Brock Lesnar, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, guys like that on the roster. And so each character has their own vehicle, and vehicles have different attributes and stuff like that. And they have an entrance kind of similar to how they would in wrestling, and it's pretty cool. Got a nice presentation. It's a pretty fun game. One that I think my brothers and I picked up back in the day, and we just had a lot of fun with it. I don't know why we had so much fun with it. I guess because we were big WWE fans, and it was just an interesting game and one we really enjoyed and got a lot of time out of. That's another one that's relatively cheap too. So it's on other systems as well, but it is a decent one to pick up if you're curious. The last game I picked up is one that, was probably one of my must-haves when I started collecting for the Nintendo GameCube again, and that is Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. This is the Player's Choice Edition. I try not to get Player's Choice Editions, but, sometimes the prices are a lot cheaper. So if I just want the game, ultimately, it's not ideal to get this version of the game, but if it's on the cheaper side, I'll pick it up. It's not going to bother me too much, and you can always switch out the case because really the disc doesn't have anything on it that would indicate that it's not the Player's Choice. So again, this is a port of the Sega Dreamcast version, and I think they added some new features to it. They have a 2-player mode, which is a lot of fun. And this is just a great version of the game. And, growing up when we had our GameCube, this was one we played a lot. We really, really got into, and it's just a lot of fun to go back to and play. So I definitely wanted to pick this one up. And I found it for a good price on eBay. This is another one that's on the higher, getting up there, just like most games. And I think because this one is one of the better games for the system. But I was able to find it for a good price, so I was happy with that. But this is definitely a must-have, definitely one I wanted to get in the collection. I do have the other Sonic Adventure game already for the system, but this is the one I wanted the most because I didn't really play the first one as much. But this is a great game to pick up. Well, that's it, guys. I'm probably going to do these videos periodically whenever I get a nice stack of games to show off, just kind of talk about, give my thoughts on. So thanks for checking it out, and see you guys next time.